everybody. How's everyone doing? Yeah, we're doing good? We're feeling good? We're excited about some changes? That RLA, the virus broker, we're going to survive? Are we going to thrive? Oh yeah, I can't wait, guys. All right, let's have some fun.
Oh, right here. One more time. Try it again.
There we go. Let's jump into A Price is Right. Ladies, take it away.
You guys want to introduce yourselves? Like,
Hi, everybody.
all right, which one's which? Which one's which?
All right. We have. Oh, that's pretty. All right. We have a West Lancaster 3-bedroom home, 2-bath, built in 1987. 2,120 square feet on an 8,182 square foot lot.
And just because there's a couple new faces in here, we're playing The Price is Right. We're going to ask all these houses sold in the last 14 days by non-KW agents, hopefully non-KW agents, and whoever's closest to the actual price. But if you're $1 over, what are you? Big loser. So if you're over, you're out. All right. See some pictures. Oh, you know, looks all right.
Pretty.
Is that the world's smallest pool in the backyard? That's interesting. All right, what are we thinking here on those prices? You guys put your prices on your phone or on a piece of paper. You can't shout it out after we show it. What do we got? What do we got? We got 585, 600, 575, 594, 555, 545. You guys got your answers in? All right.
495 on Zoom. 595 on Zoom.
All right, our actual retail price, without going over, is
Anybody?
575.
Oh.
575. 575. Anyone have 580?
575 tickets. Nobody on Zoom.
You won last time. You were here too, didn't you? Yeah. He's on fire. See what he puts and then just do 5,000 over. All right.
All right, East Palmdale, 3 bedrooms, 3-bath, built in 1986, 2,052 square feet, 7,840 lot.
Can we talk about the garage door being open? What are our thoughts there? That's interesting. I've never seen that
They
before.
said look inside.
It almost looks fake.
It does.
That's strange. I like the blue. I like it.
That is really nice.
That's pretty. All right, East Palmdale, what are we thinking? 529, 585. I said 585, everybody, so 590. 535, 495. Who's going to be brave with 590? 529. Marvin's at 560. 565, 587, 578, 495. All right, we got our answers in. Our actual retail price, without going over, is 587.50. What? 587. She went over you. 587.
Great job, boys.
1998, 2152 square feet. Wow, 10,000 square foot lot.
And they're Kings fans. All right. Yeah, looks good.
The grays, the grays always. Pretty cool.
So we're such suckers for the pool. We're like, oh, it's gonna sell fast. It's got a pool.
The pool.
All right.
All right, Ivy, where we at, Ivy? 649, 588.
605. We got
Victoria, Andrew, wait for Ivy's answer. 595, 590, 605,
an even 6.
425,
35,
605.
we have even 600 right there.
600.
All right.
569,
625.
609, 605, 600. All right, our actual retail price without going over. This doesn't work.
Great job.
Did you make the slide? What's going on here?
I was gonna say that we have the same number.
Remember on track on the contract. Thank you.
Thank you, Contract Escrow, for always making our morning meetings so much fun. You guys enjoy that? Yeah. It's fun, right? It's good times. Who knows their pricing? How could you know these answers every time? But just looking at your number, seeing what closes every day, you'd have a really good indication you might even remember. All right, a couple quick announcements, guys. Big Agent Camp is coming up. It is on August 12th, 2015. Registering today. If you guys are planning on going, you're going to be running out of time. I know there's a group of agents going there. You thought about it. Now is the time.
It's August 12th to the 15th.
Yeah, August 12th to the 15th. All right, Amy, you come up and give a little announcement for us?
Yes. Hi, guys.
You gotta do it for Zoom.
For the Zoomers, how many are out there?
We have a total of how many today? Let's see. 26 on Zoom.
All right, so I have a big announcement to make. I'm so excited about this announcement. We're going to have a new team leader. Garrett has decided to step aside and go back into production and be the real estate investor that he's always wanted to be. Am I right? He's been our team leader here for 5 years, and I want to thank him for those 5 years.
6 years.
Is it 6?
Yeah, 6 in October.
Okay, look at that.
See, it feels like
You know, COVID kind of, I lost the year there. So 6 years, but he's still part of this office and will still be around. And we'd like to honor him for the last 6 years that he has taken this role. So thank you, Garrett. And this is your cake and celebration.
Oh, thank you guys. That's sweet.
Okay.
Nobody can have any. It's mine.
You need the part that says Capper to be on there. That's all you.
Yeah, Capper to be is what it says on the cake. So, in replacement to Garrett, we have, I'm very excited to announce the new, but not really that new, as a team leader. Do you know who that new team leader is? That's not so new? Yes? Here he goes. Yes. So I'm excited to announce someone who has the experience of being a broker owner of a RE/MAX office, someone who has managed a Coldwell Banker office, someone who has been in the real estate industry for a couple of decades, and our very own Drew Hawkins.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. I am fired up and I am excited for the future. You guys know that I love to bring energy. So that's probably the most exciting thing because it's been tampered down for like 2 or 3 years because it turns out that in the Pacific Northwest, everything is real slow and easy going. And Drew's running at like 8,000 RPMs and everybody else is running at 2,000 RPMs. So I'm excited to be back into where my heart is. Back in this market center. I'm here full time. So yeah, I look forward. I'm going to be setting some meetings with some of you here coming up. And I look forward to the future. We're going to set a vision. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. Awesome. Yeah. And honestly, thank you, Garrett, for the last 6 years. We've become buds. He's been great to work with, and he's been great in the transition. He's teaching me all the things, and I hope I can do half the job. Just half. We'll see. All right, should we talk about listening agreements?
Before moving forward, though, we did have this quick little message. Your leadership impacted our lives and careers. Wishing you success in the next chapter.
I'm super thankful to everybody real quick. It's been a really fun journey. This decision didn't come easily. It's just the time was ready for me to venture out and do other stuff. And you guys know with teaching investments on Friday mornings, I'm really loving that side of the business through flips and different stuff. So I'm excited to jump into that venture. But I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere. I'll have an office, I'm sure, somewhere. You might not see me for like a month or so. There might be a little vacation planned. But then I'll be back in house. So of course I'll always be here and always part of KW. And I love you all. So thank you guys so much for the last 6 years. I really do appreciate it. So.
Send us pictures from Bora Bora.
And Bali.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Let's
We need to bring up the listening agreement on the screen.
All right. Let's see here. The one you sent me, correct?
Yeah.
Got it.
The listening agreement. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to talk about listening agreement today. We're going to mainly focus on the first page because that's where most of the changes are. And we're going to talk a little bit about how the compensation is going to work. We're going to do a little recap for those of you that were not with us yesterday on the settlement and what it actually means to us. So before we get started, in front of you, you have a packet, yes? Yes. Okay. And the very first page of that packet is what? Disclosure regarding agency relationships. All right, so somebody give me a recap. What does it mean? Yes, sir.
Disclosing to a customer what agency is.
Disclosing to a customer what agency is. Does this agency disclosure solidify the relationship with you and your client?
No.
It does not. It simply discloses that agency relationship exists in the state of California. How many types of agency do we have? Three. What are they? Buyer's agency. What's that mean? What's the other one? Okay, what's that mean? All right, and then the third one? Okay, what's that mean? Representing both sides. So if we're representing both sides, who does our fiduciary belong to? How can I have fiduciary to two people? So your fiduciary is to your seller. So then what do you owe the buyer? honesty, integrity, utmost care. You can't oppose the buyer in favor of the seller, and yet your fiduciary does lie with the seller. And you owe the buyer utmost care, honesty, and integrity. Yes?
Yes.
And this document does not solidify that relationship or confirm that relationship. It simply discloses it. We're all on the same page? I want to make sure you have a firm understanding around it. All right, so as we dive in to page 1 of the listing agreement. Everything at the top is pretty much the same. We now are seeing in the listing agreement what we've had in the purchase agreement, which is the boxes. It's all segregated out. So the listing period, by the way, what's one of the components that makes a listing agreement valid? I'll give you a hint. It's in the first box. Huh? The period of time. Yeah, a beginning and an end date. What if you had a beginning date and no end date? You don't have a valid listing. You don't have a valid listing agreement. The law is you have to have both a beginning and an end date. There has to be a specified period of time for the listing period, for the listing agreement to be valid. How long can the listing agreement be for? What if my client wants to give me a 10-year listing? By the way, I had a listing once for 10 years. I ended up buying the thing myself. After 10 years, and I wasn't even a big negotiator. I had to pay full price. Because that's what you're supposed to do. So yeah, the maximum is 24 months on a listing. Okay, and then you're going to put in the list price and the property specific. For the listings, manufactured home, or whether it's a probate or conservatorship or guardianship. And then we move down to the hot topic of compensation. So this is the compensation to you or us, I should say, as the listing brokerage. Remember in the old days we would put whatever the amount of the commission would be, 5, 5.5, 6, 7, whatever it is that we negotiated. And then later on in the agreement, we would specify what we were going to share to the buyer broker. But remember, there is no more sharing of commissions. Agents and brokerages are no longer allowed to share compensation. The buyer pays the buyer broker, the seller pays the listing broker, or the seller pays both the listing broker and the buyer broker. But the brokers do not share compensation or pay one another. Unless it's a referral, that's an exception to the rule. Why would the referral be, what causes the referral to be an exception to the rule? They're not a party to the transaction. Right? In a referral, the person referring the client is not a party to the transaction. So therefore, they can share the compensation. I feel I'm okay and I'm waiting to hear back if it's okay for us to put the 199 on C1 4B. So you see I have it included here. I think it's okay. I don't see a problem with that. So I'll be getting back with you once I hear from legal if that's going to be okay, if that's satisfactory, or do we need to spell it out in more detail, or what do we need to do? So more to come on that. Look at C2, 4C. Additional compensation to seller's broker if a buyer is unrepresented. What the heck does that mean? If they come without an agent, what's that look like? Yeah, I'm a listing agent and I've got a sign in the yard, I'm marketing the property as my listing, and the buyer says, man, I don't have the money to pay for an agent, and why don't I just go directly to the listing agent? That'd be a customer, right? So the customer comes to the listing agent and says, I want to make an offer on this property, write it up for me. Or I want to make an offer, how do I write it up? So this gives you an opportunity, and I'm going to talk about what strategy might be in a second, but you could negotiate this up front. You could say, okay, seller, you're going to pay me $3,000, $5,000, 2%. I mean, whatever you negotiate with the seller, if the buyer comes directly to me and I write up, because let's face it, should a buyer be unrepresented? No. Tell me why.
Every client deserves.
Say it again.
Every client deserves the best.
Everybody should be properly represented. What about the home inspection? Who orders it? Who facilitates it? Who facilitates the request for repair? Who facilitates the appraisal? Who facilitates the whole thing? And the buyer doesn't know what they don't know. They think, oh, you're getting paid already by the seller. Get right. So if I'm representing the seller, I'm being paid by the seller, then I'm only going to do their side of the work. Well, we know how that works. So this gives you an opportunity to negotiate a compensation ahead of time with your seller to pay for an unrepresented buyer. And then you would have that buyer sign the new document, the BNA, Buyer Non-Agency document. And that explains to the buyer that they are not represented, that you're simply facilitating the purchase. So we would look at this like a customer. That's not a legal term that I'm using. That's a simplistic term that I'm using. We could look at this now as a customer rather than a client. Now, yes,
So I have a question based on that. So you're gonna pretty much do the contract and that's it?
I'm going to do the contract, and then I'm going to have to probably facilitate the home inspection and the appraisal. And I'm probably going to have to draft a request for repair because I want to protect my seller. Right? So I have to use the proper instruments to protect my seller because the buyer's not going to have access to anything. And they're not even going to know. Right? Which leads me to my next question. Do you think that it would be the right strategy to negotiate this item, C2, with your seller up front? Yes. Tell me more about it. It says what? It says an expectation. What expectation are we setting?
No, there's a possibility that a customer comes without an agent and needs a representation. And then when a cost work to the seller if the buyer doesn't have the funds to pay.
We're setting it up for failure. We're setting it up to where we are not representing the buyer and the buyer is not represented. In the old days, and when I say old days, I mean today and yesterday, when we have a listing and a buyer comes to us, we get the full commission for buyer side and listing side. Yes? Okay, so you're saying now that you no longer deserve the compensation for the buyer side? You're not saying that?
Nothing should change, really.
Nothing should change.
No, you still have to educate the seller.
Back in the old days, I think I said this yesterday, back in the old days, and I mean the really old days, back when I was 6 years old when I first got into real estate, back in 2000 through like 2004, we used to negotiate the commission as a part of the residential purchase agreement. It was on page 8 of an 8-page document. It might have been page 6 of a 6-page, I can't remember. But it was, yeah. It was a couple of decades ago. And we used to negotiate the compensation when we made the offer. So that's basically what we're doing now in today's world. So unless you're negotiating to get paid 3%, I wouldn't sell myself short. Right? Do you follow what I'm saying here? From the beginning, we're setting it up to where we're going to represent a customer and we're going to accept less money for, let's face it, the same work. Do you follow what I'm saying? Now, that's a personal decision, like a business decision you personally have to make. That's what I mean. So, obviously, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. What I'm saying, what I'm suggesting is negotiate it when the offer comes in, or when the client comes in. Have the conversation with your seller ahead of time. What are we going to do if I bring the buyer?
Why would you just not want to represent the buyer?
You would. That's what I'm saying.
By state law, don't you anyway, when you do the home inspection for him and give him?
So, not anymore. It used to be called implied agency. So, now we still do have, in fact, we need to get rid of, I think California should rid the implied, and it should just be customers and clients. That makes no sense, right? But we're not there yet. I'm sure we'll probably end up going there. But yeah, you want to just go ahead and represent. So now, if you give them the buyer non-agency, you're actually saying I'm not representing you. But you're still doing the same amount of work. So just like Marvin said, why would we do it differently? Because the form has changed? Because there was a lawsuit and a settlement, which we talked about yesterday, right? What has changed? The form. And the amount of forms.
Increased liability.
Increased liability. But really, it's the same. Because the market dictates what the market dictates. Right? All of a sudden, buyers have more money. We talked about this yesterday. All of a sudden, on August the 18th, buyers now have enough money to cover their closing costs, down payment, and the buyer broker commission. All of a sudden, out of the blue, August 18th, it turns midnight, everybody has money in their bank account.
Are you saying that if we, as a seller's agent, if I represent the buyer, I have to get them to sign the BNA?
No, if you don't represent them. If they come to you as a customer, yeah, if they come to you and say, write it up, then you need to have them sign the DNA, the buyer non-agency. And what I'm saying is, why would we do that? Why would we change what we are doing just because there was a lawsuit and a settlement and the form changed? The effective nature of what we do as professionals has not gone away magically in the middle of the night. Are you following me? Are you with me?
Yes.
Where did I lose you? What happened? Are you still with me? Do buyers deserve professional representation? Yes. Okay. So, nothing changes. Are you with me? So what am I effectively saying? I probably would either negotiate this at a full 3% when I take the listing, or not at all. Or not at all. And we'll see what happens. I probably would be in favor of just going ahead and negotiating the full 3% in the beginning, just like I did in the old days. Yesterday, right? That's what we already do. Why would we change our ways now? Right.
Because if the sellers agree to pay you an additional 3 or 2.5% for someone that you're representing, they would do the same for another agent that represents the buyer. It's the same.
Why would they do that?
To sell their house.
To sell their house. Again, the market is what the market is. It didn't suddenly overnight change, and now buyers have money. It doesn't work that way. They're broke. They've always been broke. So it's not going to change unless we conform to what the media is saying. I told you yesterday that I was in a broker forum, and every broker literally were shaking in their boots. They didn't know what they were. The conversation was chaotic around the table. But what are we going to do? But Drew, what if they don't want to sign some of the things that were being said in the forum? We are the professionals. Maybe you didn't hear me. We are the professionals. So let's act like it. Yeah? This is not doomsday. How many changes has the real estate industry had over the last 30 years?
Just one more.
And what happens when realtors are gone? Despite the snake's power and will to have us go away, are we still here?
Yes.
We pivot, and the weak get out. And it makes more room for us to take market share. And honestly, give an opportunity for the public to receive true professional realtors, ones that are educated. We're going to coach our clients around this. Nothing effectively has changed other than our processes. The continuation on C3, continuation of right to compensation for broker identified prospective buyers. So the continuation period shall be 180 days. So this is unchanged. This is now in the form of a box, and the wording is a little different than on the old listing agreement. So this is, you have a listing, and the listing expires, and you provide at the time of the expiration or the cancellation, if the seller and you decide you're going to cancel the listing, you provide the seller with a list of the folks who viewed the property. And if anybody on that list in 180 days purchases or makes an offer on the property, then as a listing agent, you're due a commission. That's what that means. Do you have understanding around that?
That's with another agent, yeah.
Yeah, so if Blanca has the listing, and the listing comes to expiration, Blanca provides the seller with a list of all the people who have shown the property, all the buyers that have seen the property, and then they go and they list with Christy, and one of those buyers writes an offer with Christy, Blanca gets the commission. That's what that's saying. The key is that you have to provide the list to the seller prior to the expiration or the cancellation of the listing. That's the key. Now, I don't even know the last time I've seen this put into practice. But that doesn't mean you couldn't put it into practice just because that's not something we're used to. But that's what that clause is there for. Did you know that?
Does that apply just to people that we showed the house to, or anyone who saw the house?
Anyone who saw the house, as long as you provide the name.
Well, what if they sold it with another agent?
Say it again.
What if they sold it with their buyer?
Right, that's the challenge. The challenge is you have to get their name. This is probably why we don't do it with all the other things that we have going on. You know, for me, this is just a personal, opinion of mine. I don't worry about that stuff. I feel like, well, what's your one thing as a realtor? I don't mean your job description. But what's your one thing as a realtor? Where's Brandon? He knows this. Brandon around? We leave?
Is it to take your buyers from A to B through their fears and objections?
Jason, I love you right now. Yeah, your one thing. Think about this. Your one thing as a realtor, meaning that if you focus on this one thing, it sort of makes everything else fall into place or irrelevant, is to take your clients from where they are to where they want to be through their own fears and objections. If you do that, you get paid, and they get what they want. Right? We focus on that. We're not going to, in my opinion, we're not going to focus on the fact that the house was shown and they ended up buying it with somebody else. I don't want to do that. I don't want to chase the dollars. I would rather just be the very best realtor that I could be, helping people get from where they are to where they want to be through their own fears and objections, and then I win and they win and everybody wins. C4, seller's obligation to pay the previous broker. So if they were in relationship with another broker and they have, and the list was provided, then this is where this could be disclosed. These 4 people, if these 4 people buy, then I have to pay Blanca the money, and you won't get paid. Then, of course, the section for D is all the things that might be included or excluded or leased or leaned. That pretty much stays the same. And now we have some new language around the smart home features. Are they really smart homes?
They're clipped on.
I have at my house, we have a Wi-Fi like a third, like, what do you call the third? You get 2 bands or 3 bands or whatever.
Tri-band.
Tri-band. So so the third band is where all of like the lights and the Netflix and all the stuff. You know, we named it Dumb House. That's the name of the Wi-Fi because that's about how I feel about it. It's the dumb smart house. Right? It's smart dumb house. But now you've got an area where you can put the smart home features that are going to be included and stay with the property. On E, for MLS and public marketing, the property will be marketed in the following MLSs. How many of you put GAVAR? Let me ask you a question. What does GAVAR stand for? Okay. How many of you in Ridgecrest put RAR? What's RAR stand for? Ridgecrest Area Association of Realtors. Right? Do we put SRAR? What's that stand for? Where in those titles do you hear the word MLS? Do you hear it? Greater Antelope Valley Association of MLS. It's GAVAR. No, right? Because that's not your MLS. That is your Association of Realtors. What's the significance? We have time, so I'm going to go there. What's the significance of an Association of Realtors? Do you know? Or do you think it's just something that sucks for money every year? Do you know what value you get? Anybody? They fight for, thank you, Tiffany. They fight for your right. So did you know that in the last, I don't know how many years, I've been privy to it, at least 15 years. Do you all know what the Mortgage Deduction Act is? What's the Mortgage Deduction Act? Anybody who knows? You get to write off the interest for your mortgage off of your taxes up to $30,000 every year. Did you know this?
Yes.
You should know this because this is something you can tell first-time home buyers to get them off the fence of renting versus buying. What kind of tax deduction do they get for renting? Nothing. What do they get for buying? They get up to $30,000 tax deduction for the interest on the payment every month. Yes? Okay, is that a positive thing? Yes. Right? Okay, so do you know that has been under attack? There are some politicians in the world that think that should go away. And every time that comes up, the National Association of Realtors, which is the body of that is all of the states of associations. So California Association of Realtors is one piece of the National Association of Realtors. Do you understand that? So is Washington, Oregon, Colorado, all of it. So when we're advocating from CAR, that's helping NAR advocate on behalf of realtors and homeownership. Because we fought that. NAR has fought that over and over and over again, and we win every single time. Is that impacting you in a positive way? Who else is that impacting? The public, right? The consumer. The consumer. So when you're paying your dollars, you're paying for advocacy. So at the GAVAR level, that's our local voice. So when we go, when Marvin and Garrett and those that have participated in the local board, when they go to Sacramento, they actually get to speak to legislators on behalf of the Antelope Valley and the things that are happening here in the Antelope Valley. If you don't think the not been one of the main topics of discussion for the last 15 years, we constantly and consistently are fighting for water rights in the desert. Now it's insurance. So that's what you're paying for. You're paying for advocacy so that we have a voice. Because imagine the Antelope Valley without a voice. Who would be doing our talking for us? Do you want Los Angeles talking for us? So that's why you're paying the money. But nowhere in there is the MLS. So what is the MLS? What do you put in this line item? Flex MLS. CRMLS. SSMLS, which is Southern Sierra for Ridgecrest. And I don't know what TARS is, so I just put TARS. I'm hoping somebody might know that. That's the association. Okay, there you go.
The Rapatoni.
Rapatoni, okay.
Yeah, the Rapatoni.
Rapatoni. So you want to make sure that you're putting in the actual MLS and not the Association of Realtors. Now, it's not unto death. It doesn't make the document invalid or void, and yet it's not accurate. The timing of the presentation of offers. You now can choose when you're going to present the offers to your clients. So, remember in 21 and 22 when we have 15 offers on a listing? Anybody remember those days? Were those the good old days?
Yeah. If you were a listing agent.
It's a nightmare to go over with picking offers with the seller.
That's a dream. What do you mean, a nightmare? That's a dream.
Yeah. I mean, as a realtor, do you prefer that market or the market you're in?
That market.
Could there be another way to look at that? What might that be? Say it again.
Every market is a great market.
Every market is a great market for its own reasons. When the fish are jumping in the boat, that requires a certain type of skills. And when the fish are not jumping in the boat, that requires yet a whole nother set of skills. It goes back to the basics. I actually prefer this market. Now, I don't prefer this economic environment. That's not what I'm saying. But I do prefer a market where it does require an agent to be well-educated and well-skilled, because it rids the market of the agent that shouldn't be in the business in the first place. And it makes more room for us, the professionals, to gain market share. So are we sitting at home on the sofa eating bonbons with our arms folded and crying that the market is bad? Well, none of the people here are, because you're here. So tell a fellow Cato, your friend, that it's going to be okay, that maybe you should show up to these meetings and learn that it doesn't have to be that way. We would present all the offers on a Tuesday. Like the seller would allow the weekend to go and collect all the offers, and then we present them on Tuesday, so to speak, or something like that, right? And buyer's agents never would believe you. They would always go, oh yeah, we're going to collect the offer till Tuesday. Well, now you actually have instruction from the seller that says this is what we're going to do. Buyer supplemental offer letters. Remember the whole buyer letter? So now the seller instructs the broker not to present the buyer letters. Why are we not presenting buyer letters?
Fair housing. Fair housing.
Fair housing and steering. Or the seller can instruct us to do that. If they choose. And then the investigation reports. This section is in the event that your seller already has a report to disclose. This is not where you're going to put in what they're willing to pay for a buyer and an offer or anything like that, or what's to come. inspection is designed for a seller who has maybe in the process of getting the property ready for sale. Maybe they've gotten a roof inspection. Maybe they got a termite inspection ahead of time. Maybe they went ahead and ordered the NHD ahead of time with you as their professional at the helm to make sure that they kind of know what's happening before they get into negotiating offers. As a listing agent, have you thought of that? To get inspections and things done ahead of time so that you know, in certain situations, not always, but you want to be able to maybe know when an offer comes in, how to negotiate that offer, because you already know the good, the bad, the dirty, the ugly. Sometimes, not every time. I'm not advocating for that. So this is where you would check the boxes for that. Exceptions to ownership title. Okay, that's self-explanatory. And then seller intends to include a contingency to purchase or replace a property is now included on the listing document. You can check that box. And the seller opts out of the lockbox or a sign. That's pretty straightforward. Additional terms under K. This is where potentially if you're... Now, there's one thing that's missing. What's the one thing that's missing from this first page, first and second page so far?
Cooperating compensation.
Compensation to the other broker. Nobody is. Nobody is. So, Marvin, did legal tell us why they didn't include that?
It was actually the forms committee that decided not to do it. And they think it's because that's going to be the next thing they take away from us. They think they're getting ahead of it, which is stupid because we change the forms every 20 minutes anyways.
Right. What's the matter? It's a cut and paste situation. It's a whole different, right?
The directors are not happy.
Yeah, no, right. I'm not even. So what I suggested yesterday in the forum is if your seller wants to provide buyer broker compensation, I would put it here under K. Seller is willing to pay buyer broker up to 2.5% of sale price to be negotiated at the time of contract. If you want. There was some pushback on that, saying, well, if they didn't put it in there, then it must be some law against it. I don't think so. Not yet, right? Our fiduciary is to our seller, and if our seller says, I want to include the motorhome, then I include the motorhome, whether I think it's smart or not. Are you with me? Include the Porsche? I included a Mustang one time. So it's...
I've never gotten a Porsche or a Mustang when I bought a house. Got a client, so I gotta hire you guys.
In the wrong place.
I gotta hire you guys over here.
I know.
I don't want those.
Seller to pay buyer broker compensation not to exceed 2.5% to be negotiated at the time of offer. I don't know. I just made that up off the top of my head.
You have to word it.
Sounds good, right? Like that way, you're kind of leaving it open, but you're also putting it in writing, so that when you advertise the compensation, it shows that you're allowed to do so, right? So that there's some instruction from the seller that they are actually willing to do that.
So, like, we included it in our website or it was part of the marketing?
Where do we advertise?
Nowhere.
So, are we allowed to put it in the MLS? No, not as of August the 7th for GAVAR, August the 12th for SRAR, and Ridgecrest as of today. So you can't put it in the MLS. So then where do you advertise the compensation to the buyer broker?
What about the landing page?
You said it on your website, but the website for us?
Yeah, you can put it on your website.
But it's under the
You
broker.
can't put it under agent remarks.
You're not supposed to put it under the broker?
But okay, so website. Can I have more than one website? Yes. Okay. So what if I had a landing page for that listing, That's a website. Is that a website? That's a website.
I can tell many of you did not read your email from me last week.
So I think Garrett's going to do a little thing for us.
You want to see how easy it is?
He's going to show us how easy it is to make a landing page.
July 19th? What's July 19th? What's July 19th? I sent it on July 19th? Okay, 2 weeks ago. All right. All right, so if I'm going to take a listing on here, let me I should have logged in and let me get there real quick. So one thing guys is we're really blessed to be at a company that's utilized technology at a high level, has been preparing for this to make things like this simple. All right. So I'm going to show you real quick how fast you can make a landing page on your website where you can include your cooperating broker compensation. And what we're going to do is take that link, and in our agent remarks on FlexMLS, by the way, I'm on the board of directors. I was talking to make sure we could do this. I called Car Legal. They said, talk to your board of directors. I said, I am the board of directors. That's why I'm calling on behalf of MLS. They said, we don't give MLS. We went back and forth, and then eventually the lawyer's like, well, you can do it, just, we can't say. And the board of directors, as of now, we haven't decided where you're not able to do this. But you're going to say, for more information, click here. There's your link to your website. And on your website of the house, you're going to have cooperating broker compensation right there. All right? So let me show you how to do it. Because wouldn't it be great if all the KW agents, the day this went live, and all the other agents out there could figure out what the cooperating broker compensation is right away without having to call the agents? Say, hey, click on the link. Say, hey, click on the link.
So we're not allowed to put in the agent mark for
No.
buyer compensation call the agent?
Nope.
You can put in the agent remarks. In the agent remarks. Where? Agent remarks. In the agent remarks, you can say, for more information on this property, click here. And then on that website is the compensation.
All right, guys, real quick. This is how we do it. In command, at the very bottom, websites. By the way, Mondo is going to have classes, workshops with this. I'm just showing you right now. So if you try to take notes, you're going too fast. I'm just to show you that this is an easy process. Pay attention to Mondo's classes. He's going to be walking through how to do this. If you need to go a little slower, but right up here, I'm going to hit settings under websites. There's 2 clicks. Here's the 3rd click. Edit my website. All right, we're 3 clicks in. Can we do that? Yes. All right. You'll see right here, property landing page template. Now mine has a star because I put a star, so put it in the front. Yours might be here, or it might be here, or it might be here, but there's only 6, so I hope you can find it. We're going to click right here, property landing page template. Click. Oh, Drew, you're in the way. Let me go back 1 step. Right here, property landing, quick start. Property landing page. Do I want to add a blog? Nope. Custom page? Nope. Landing page? Nope. I want a property landing page template. Because I don't want to do any work. I just want to click a button and create it. So I'm going to click. So here's my property landing page. As of now, it's just me. How is my information there? When you sign up with KW, we ask you some profile questions. We create your marketing profile for you. If you've never done it, it's in your settings. Have a meeting with Mondo. Once your profile is set up, no matter what you create, no matter what you do, that information's already there. So I don't have to put my picture there. I don't got to put my name in there. It's just there. All right? So most of you, that will be done, especially if you're new in the last 4 or 5 years. If you've been around for long, when the transition into Command happened and you never set up your marketing profile, it's a button in settings. You can go through and set it up once, and then it's done forever. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I got to find my listing. So I'm going to do my listing. So I'm in Roseman. This is actually my listing. So I'm going to do my actual listing. Oh, you're talking about my flipping. That thing ain't selling. Anyways, so you'll see here, right? This is our 2 of them. Which one do you think's the one's mine? 24. Why? It's our MLS number, right? back when Marvin sold it in 1924. This one's from on there. All right, so I added the listing. So what it's going to do for me, it's going to pull all the information in MLS and make me a really fancy landing page. Or I don't have to do anything. You see this little eye twirling? It's pulling all the data over, and it's going to import it into this great landing page. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's got the neighborhood. It's got my pictures. It's got my description. Oh, man, that was hard. Woo! All right. So now we're going to look at our contacts and everything over here, but we could do a custom image because it wants something right at the top. So I could either do an image or video. Well, I used InView Media for this. They gave me a great video. If I didn't get a great video, if I didn't pay for that, I could just use default listing image, and it'll just pull the default listing image as my first image. But I'm going to grab the video. So it's going to ask for where the video is. So I'm going to click here. And I have already grabbed the video. But right here it says I can grab YouTube URL, and I just go to YouTube and grab the video. I uploaded the video to YouTube, so it was already there, so I just grabbed the link and grabbed it. If you don't have a video, you don't want to do a video, it's too complicated, I already lost you, just do the preset image. That works. Preset image. So I'm going to click right here on my video. No, I'm doing my video because this looks pretty. Oh my goodness. Look at that website I just created, guys. Holy moly, that was hard. Keller Williams is cool, but most of you aren't using this. I saw Andrew using this yesterday. I gave him a high five. He's like, you know how easy this is? I'm like, do I know you didn't just read the email I sent last week when I showed you how to do this?
Can you resend it?
No. You can look in your email and type in Garrett, and it'll come up.
Apparently on July 19th.
Yeah, it's July 19th.
Our scribe told us.
All right, so I'm going to scroll down to the next thing. Now, I wanted to add in cooperating compensation. This is your most difficult part because you're going to have to type. Here we go. We're going to add a module because we have right here, these modules correspond with what's over here. So if I wanted to move up contact me to the front, it would look dumb, but I could. So I'll move it up to the front. As soon as this thing starts spinning, it's going to move my contact information up to the front. But I don't want that. I could. I'd prefer to have the listing information, but you can, just to show you what you could do, okay? We see how that works? All right, so I'm going to add a module, and we're going to add a custom content block, because this is where we're going to type in information about our cooperating broker compensation. So right here, I'm going to click Custom Content Block. Here it comes. It's going to ask for what's the header, what's the name. Garrett can't spell. Thank God for little red lines, because otherwise I can't type or spell. All right. Oh, my keyboard didn't work. Compensation. Is that right?
Yeah.
Hey! All right. Can we say cooperating compensation? Can we say that? Why not?
Because we are not sharing anymore.
This isn't in the MLS, folks. Give it away. It's your website. If your seller has advised you that you can offer cooperating compensation, give it away. It's your website, your marketing. Send this out. Absolutely, you could offer cooperating compensation, and it is not illegal. I know people are like, oh, it's illegal now. No, it's not.
Only illegal in MLS.
It's only MLSs are no longer allowed to do it because they were sued for antitrust rules. We could still do it, guys. We could still do it. Oh, great. What button did I hit? What is this? I hit something in my... When you can't spell and you start slamming the keyboard. Okay. So cooperating compensation. Now I'm going to say seller willing to offer 2.5% to cooperating broker or whatever. All right, whatever you want it to say. You got to give it a second to update, but it's out here at the bottom. I don't want it on the bottom. Here's the only kind of negative thing is it does require a photo. So you're going to click here to grab a photo. I just grabbed a stock photo that was here. You could go hit new here, any photo off of your computer that you want to use that's something that has to do with cooperating. I found people arm wrestling. I'm like, well, that's perfect. It's like a good real estate, transaction. We're shaking hands. That works. However you want to do it. If we had faster internet, we would already be up. But right here, you could click new. And you could grab a photo off your computer. You could choose a file. You could save it off your MLS. I don't know if there's any pictures on here. Let's see if there's something saved. Of course, there's not. Let's see. There we go. I'm just going to use the one that I had saved in there. That works. That works. Being silly. But then I'm going to want to take this up to the top because I want it right in the beginning. This mouse is terrible. Let me minimize this so it's not so cumbersome. Okay, co-op. Add module, where'd it go? Custom block right there. Let's put it up. Let's put it at the very top. Let's see what our website looks like. Look at that. There's people fighting cooperating compensation with the broker. Seller willing to offer 2.5% cooperating broker. You can put whatever you want. Make it sound nice. Make it sound pretty. Whatever you want to do. But does that work? All right. Now I'm just going to take our publish button. We're live. We have a website. We just created a web. Well, look at you guys are web developers. You didn't even know it. Page title. I got to make a title. 2700 Knox. If you do mess up, it'll tell you what you need to fix. You got to have a title for your website. If you just follow the list on the left, you'll have everything that you need in there. So right here, guys, you'll see the URL. Let's see what the website looks like. Let's click on it. This is the live website that anyone could go look up. Cooperating compensation. So I'm going to copy this URL. And then in my agent remarks, for more info, click here.
Agent remarks.
For important information.
Make it like
The most important information. Click here.
The information you're looking for.
The information that you've been looking for and more.
The information that used to be here that we can't put in here anymore. The lawsuit, click here.
You know what this is.
So is that, yes, it's an extra step. Should you have a website that you show to your buyers for them to advertise anyways?
yes.
Here's my deal. Make 2 of them. Take out the cooperating compensation for when you're going to put this all over because it looks weird to have that part in there. Just make it without that part. Send it to your buyers. Ask them to share it online. You just created a beautiful website for your listings. That took you, literally, it took me 45 seconds. I did this quickly in my office with my mouse. 45 seconds. I timed it. Done. Like,
Put it on our Facebook, the link.
yeah. And it'll show up. It'll look good when you text your buyer or your sellers. Hey, here's a website I created for your home. Can you mind sharing it on social media to help gain traffic? It makes you look good. And then you can make a second one with cooperating compensation that you can put for the seller or if there. And guess what? When other agents go, oh, how'd you do that? That's cool. I didn't know Keller Williams had that.
Recruit them.
Can I come join and be in your downline?
Yes.
That's what's going to happen because they're not doing this. Right? And I'm on the board of directors, so I have a feeling there might be a little bit of fight for this, but I'm going to be fighting to keep this.
Okay,
The decision.
Let me record this.
Yeah, record it. Drew is going to fight hard to keep this. All right, does that seem doable?
Yeah.
It's not that hard. There will be a slower, go through it yourself, try it, but Mondo will teach it, a workshop. Bring your laptops to walk through the process together. It is not difficult. It is something that everybody could do. All right, Drew, back to you.
All right. Is that helpful? Are you going to use that?
Yes.
By the way, you have an email video sent to you on July 17th.
19th.
19th was step by step on how to do this. You know, I thought you all read my emails. Now I'm a little bit hurt. Now I know the truth.
I think I got an email from you, but it was a hacker. I got an email from you. You got an email this morning?
think so.
It didn't sound like you, so I deleted it.
It was probably hacker.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what we're going to cover today on the listing agreement. The rest of the stuff is boilerplate, pretty similar to other things. There's a whole half a page on compensation and disclosure around the fact that it's negotiable. In fact, you'll see that it actually says it 3 times in a row. Compensation is negotiable, so just really driving the fact home that it's negotiable. That's the main crux. Remember, the main crux of the lawsuit is that there was a failure to disclose the compensation that was being paid to the buyer broker. That was the main context of that lawsuit. And the reason why you're probably puzzled by that is because California was already compliant. We disclosed it on our listing agreements. So did Oregon and Washington and Idaho and Montana, right? There was only a handful of states in the middle of the country that were not compliant, which caused all of this to happen, right? Why they sued in Missouri?
Thanks, Ohio, am I right?
Yeah.
Does anyone have kids? Why does everyone hate Ohio now?
I don't know.
Did you guys hear that? No one has kids? My kids are like, oh, Ohio, like it's negative. And I'm like, why is Ohio negative? It's what cool kids say. I mean, obviously, I'm still cool, so I know this, but.
I'm a cool kid.
Yeah.
But I like Ohio. All right, so we're going to be doing this for the month of August. Okay, so next week we will come together. We'll do another form. There's 7 new forms. All right, so I'm going to be very heavy on making sure that you guys are educated around this stuff. This is our way forward, is by having the knowledge that will give us the power to get an edge on our competition. Yes?
Yes.
When is next meeting? Next meeting is next Thursday at 11 o'clock in the morning in this room. That will be our team meeting. And then next Wednesday at 1 o'clock is contracts class. And we will again be going over, I don't know what that's going to be yet. I've got to look to see what I'm going to go over. Probably the purchase agreement.
Looking to go over the new document that we want to use in open houses for the buyers.
Yes, we did that yesterday, but I can do it again.
Are we requiring that as an office? I've heard that's going to be broker's discretion. Is that?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
So we start using
The
it?
jury is out.
The jury is out.
The jury is out.
So we don't use it for now?
It's your discretion right now.
Okay.
I will make a ruling on that soon. So, next Wednesday at 1 o'clock, contracts class, we're going to go over the purchase agreement. Then Thursday, during the team meeting, we will go over some other ancillary documents. We're going to be rolling this out twice a week for the month of August to make sure that everybody's comfortable and that you're armed with the education and information you need to go coach your clients.
And scripts are open to
And
everybody.
thank you, Blanca. Thank you for reminding me. And JD has opened the floor for scripting every day at 9:30 in the morning. Am I right on that time?
No, it's not at 8. We changed the time for more of people to be able to go to it, and they're scripting specifically on the changes of the RPA, RLA, and
I think it's
BRC.
9:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
9:30 in the morning every day here. JD is going to do dialogue around this subject. And my understanding is he's going to spend time whatever week content. So if we're doing the RPA, he's going to be focused on the RPA. If we're doing BRBC, he's going to be focused on the BRBC, the listing agreement, focused on the listing agreement. Okay? So we're arming you with the info. Questions? Comments? Concerns? Yes.
Next week, what time?
Contracts class Wednesday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in this room. Thursday, 11 o'clock in the morning right here in this room. I heard through the grapevine that Marvin was going to bring us lunch next week. So let's see.
Marvin's favorite. Hey, real quick, guys, I know we've said this in the past, we've said this a lot, but in 2020, 2021, 2022, we were in a speed-based market. Speed elite, speed elite, speed elite. You could be as sharp as a rock out there, and you could get a lot of business, right? We moved from a speed-based market to what? A skill-based market. The skill-based market, the realtors that are skill-based are going to survive, and then they're going to thrive. So we are offering you the opportunity to grow your skills through discussion. When you sit down with someone the first time and they're going to be asking you about that 2.5, you never want to be thinking about what you're going to say in the moment you have to say it. Come practice. 9:30.
9:30. Starting next week.
Monday to Thursday, Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday.
Monday